Why are games fun? This question is so fundamental that it's not easy to answer. Bartel introduced 4 categories. Achievement, which means achieving a goal. Exploration, finding something new, be it areas or mechanics. Social, connecting with others. And immersion. I already talked about immersion in my Fallout 3 video. So what does this have to do with Loop Hero? Because Loop Hero does almost none of it. There's a certain style, but you just see the same screen all over. The music that plays is monotone and repeats constantly. If the music was designed that way because it's called Loop Hero, then they traded an awful joke for an annoying soundtrack. Technically there is a story, every connected series of events is by definition a story, but this is so basic that it resembles Dark Souls more than anything. There is no social because it's single player and it's hard to immerse yourself in it because it has a lot of common with idle games. So what does Loop Hero have? Mechanics. The whole game is an exploration and usage of different game mechanics, and I will get into these in a moment. Loop Hero is a mixture of roguelike and city management game. Roguelikes like Hades or Dead Cells have random generated areas and they soft reset your progress. When you start a run, for example in Hades, you take a weapon, get better with each encounter, you level up so to speak, and at the end, no matter if successful, you reset. Your next run will start at level 1. That is not 100% correct, because each roguelike has 2 layers of progression. Your run progression that always resets no matter what, and the persistent progression that does not reset. In Dead Cells you get upgrades and in Hades you get better in almost every category. While Hades and Dead Cells test your reaction and pattern memory, Loop Hero tests your thinking. In Loop Hero you start on a platform that forms a circle that looks like it was drawn by a nervous orangutan. You have no weapons and no skills, and everything is blank. Then you defeat your first monster, probably a slime. You will get better equipment and you also get cards. Those cards change the layout of the map. You can place groves that spawns enemies to kill, or spider dens that do the same but are not placed on the track but besides it. You can also create mountains or meadows that will give you resources. When you die or choose to retreat, all of this will be gone and you will take only your resources with you. Your next run will start blank like this one. You then get transported to your base, which you can upgrade with the resources. And this base stays the same. The base is the persistent progression and you get access to more cards with each upgrade. In this regard, it's more like Darkest Dungeon than Hades. In Darkest Dungeon you also played more the town than the adventurers and leveled it up. There are 4 chapters and 3 different classes. Each chapter increases your available resources and subsequently the buildable upgrades. To summon the boss you need to place enough cards and then it will spawn in place of your starting position. While in Darkest Dungeon you can choose how your adventurers fight, in Loop Hero you can't. Your hero fights automatically with the same attack. You can only equip him differently and change the layout of the world. It's more like a simulation than an RPG. Loop Hero tried something incredibly different, but sadly failed in its execution. Loop Hero takes too long. Each run is usually the same and the only motivation is your base that you can upgrade. But when each run, even on max speed, takes around an hour, it becomes really boring. And it seems like even the game acknowledges it, by having the option that lets the game run in the background and stop after each battle or each loop. At some point you will let your hero run its course while you do something different. In fact, I'm writing the script while having Loop Hero play itself in the background. And I only want to progress my town, but it takes too long. There's also no excuse for this. I really like the idea of having a roguelike simulation, but this is so slow and you do almost nothing in the game. It's more like an idle game, which you have on the background. When you start the game it will not feel that way, because you begin to explore this unique concept. But after you got the mechanics, the exploration of that is no more and you are only left with the execution. I really enjoy parts of the game, but the downtime in between is the problem. While Darkest Dungeon has the soundtrack, the art style and the narrator to compensate for its misgivings, Loop Hero has nothing else. If you make a game and concentrate on its mechanics, you need to really nail them, or the game will fail. And this is why I started this with the motivation categories for video games. Most games don't concentrate so much into one, but instead have multiple pillars that stabilize the game. Loop Hero only had one pillar, and that crumbled over time. I hope you enjoyed this rambling of me. Farewell.